Another chill, casual night of wrestling. Fake tag team action tonight. Anyway, what's up guys? Kai the Casual back again with another Kai's Top 5. And I'm ready to go to sleep after this. It's been a long day. Stay cool in this heat. Whether you are working outside or indoors, make sure you drink plenty of water. And let's get started with our first honorable mention of the night. We had tonight the White Six making their presence known in multiple segments tonight. The tag champs look on at the tag match between Mello Don't Miz and... who did Mello Don't Miz face? See, look, I already forgot that fast. That was crazy. I just watched the show. Fraxium. Short-term memory loss over here. Anyway, that was a fun match. We will talk about that later. And another example of this was Nikki Cross was seen in the reflection of one of the trucks in the back. And this was happening as Tiffany Stratton was approached by Kiana James, handing over another business card saying, if you need our services, we'll be glad to help you out, la 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 la, me and Julia. But Julia wasn't even with her. Also, she was then approached by Michin, who had been calling her, trying to get a title opportunity at Julia. So that will continue. We'll see what happens with that. I would love to see Julia eat defeat. No, I'm just kidding. But it would at least be a fun match to watch. But yeah, just a little nice thing there with the, not involvement in ring, but the involvement of their presence still being shown. That was really nice to see. But anyway, let's get to our proper top 5. We had opening the show. Usually my number 5 is the opening. Usually my number 1 will probably be the main event, if it excites me as much as it should, which we will get to. But the opening was Solo and the MFTs coming out to talk some smack, blah, 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 blah. Sami Zayn comes out. Now, they just attacked him on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if that probably didn't make my list. Or did it make my list on Monday Night Raw? I don't know. I probably did talk about this on Monday. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked. We see Sami talking to Solo about the attack. And he actually thanks him. He says, you know what? Hey, you reconstructed my thought process about this whole thing. I've been so obsessed with getting a world title that I've forgotten there are other things I have not done in this company. Like go after that US championship. Solo then tries to sucker punch Zayn, and from there, we see the MFTs engage him. Then we first get Jimmy Uso coming down for the rescue. He gets countered and beat down by Tala Tonga, and then Jacob Fatu comes out, and he engages with them, and the odds are even. Then, of course, our respectable gentleman Nick Aldis has to come out and make the match. And it's official. We got a tag team match. Holla, holla. Shout out to Teddy Long once again. We got a tag team match, players. We have a six-man tag team match booked for later on in the evening. Those segments kind of predictable, but they're still good fun to open up a show, so it makes my number 5. So last week we had Carmelo Hayes running down the Miz, like, hey, where you been at, dude? Like, you were supposed to be teaming with me, mentoring me, and you just left. Now Miz was doing things like hosting and doing other things for Hollywood, la 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 la. But he initially lies to Carmelo, saying, I was trying to get us a tag opportunity for next week. And then he lets him run off, and then he asks Nick Aldis for a tag opportunity, which we then see in this very exciting match between him, Mello, and Fraxium. God, I love Fraxium's intro. They just come in looking like speedsters. I really want to know how they do that effect. It's probably just some time-elapse stuff or whatever. They just have them move around in time-elapse. But it looks cool live, because you're like, how do they do that live? It's probably just recorded in our face or whatever, but it's interesting all the same. But anyway, Fraxium had their normal, like, high pace, high agility type action. Mello works very well with them. I want to say that they all are recent graduates from NXT. The Miz kind of felt like the odd one out here. But the story they were telling was, can the Miz and Carmelo like not only team together, but like, you know, can they work together in a way that, you know, Melo is getting his time to shine? And he does get some moments. He mounts some good offense on him. The Miz actually saves him from being pinned at one point. And in response, Carmelo, he gets on top of the match. He does this wonderful like swinging neck breaker from the like not neck breaker, like a cutter type move from the top rope. And he lines up for nothing but neck. I'm slurring my speech, excuse me. Nothing but net. I said neck. You guys get the laugh at me as I make fun of myself. But anyway, he lines up for that nothing but net leg drop when the Miz jumps up from his earlier bouncing outside of the ring, and he tags himself in and hits skull crushing finale. 1, 2, 3, the match is over. And this was good, right? They won, but Carmelo was ready to get the finish for himself. And also, this was in Boston tonight, and this is his hometown. So now he's also missed an opportunity to show out for his hometown, right? The crowd was actually chanting, "We want Melo. We want Melo." And I was saying, I want Melo too, when the Miz was in the ring anyway. So just to add on to this, later on in the night, the Miz and Carmelo interrupt Nick Aldis talking to Motor City Machine Guns. There's a nice line in there from the Miz. He mentions, he's like, you haven't made an impact, you know, here at all, whatever. And Alex Shelley responds, ah ha ha, I see what you did there, Impact, talking about, you know, what's now known as TNA again. But yeah, this broke down into an argument, and Nick Aldis just goes, hey, you guys can settle this next week in a tag match. Adding on to the story, though, Carmelo was trying not to let the Miz overtalk him, but he was trying to get a U.S. title opportunity. So, and meanwhile, the Miz was like, I'll handle this. We want a tag title shot. So, we'll see how long these two coexist. I would like to see a babyface turn for Carmelo Hayes off of this. The guy needs something, man. I don't know. I don't know. These guys probably either attempt to get the titles and fail, or they get the titles and end up just breaking up. I don't know. We'll see how far this team goes, but I'm curious about the future. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's move on, though. We had our number 3 spot for me tonight is more tag action. We had the Street Profits getting a win over hashtag DIY, and just good tag team action. Like, SmackDown is the place to go if you want good tag team action. Now, that's not to say anything bad about NXT. I'm just talking about the main roster right now. But yeah, Raw needs some help in the tag team division, I think. They still put on good matches, though. You know, we have JD McDonough and Finn Balor as tag champs right now. They're doing good. But there's so much more going on SmackDown as far as tag team action goes. So let me know what you guys think of about that. But moving on, I just want to say a couple of things about the Street Profits doing their thing, coming out. Just, you know, we want the smoke. We want the smoke. They had the crowd just going like this, and it was just awesome to see the crowd participation. Maybe I'm not paying attention, but like I have not seen the level of crowd reaction before reacting to them. You know, they were doing the "We Want the Smoke" chants. They were, you know, doing this in response to Montez and Hawkins. So yeah, it was nice. Fun action. I just want to read over my notes here about what else I had to say about this. Yeah, Street Profits one is just, you know, a good entertaining match, and you know they got the crowds reacting like them with them. Excuse me. Can't hate it. It's, you know, it's a good, you know, spot on a number 3 thing, you know, because at At the end of the day, they are here to entertain, and DIY is entertaining too, but they're bad guys right now. And of course, they pulled out, some good moves of their own, but seeing the improved, Angelo Dawkins. I said Hawkins earlier. Good grief. Seeing Dawkins and the way he's improved in ring, just fly around the ring, but also be, the muscle of the group. And then seeing Montez just fly high on that frog splash, coming down from the heavens, hitting that boom and for the pin. Just love a good entertaining match. So it's a good number 3 spot. Anyway, speaking of my entertainment value of these matches and these moments on the shows, my number 2 spot is actually a backstage moment. It was between Drew McIntyre talking about his attack on Cody Rhodes, but it was kind of the typical Drew McIntyre affair of, I'm not actually the bad guy, I'm the deluded heel. Hey, look at this, Cody was about to put me through the table. I claymored him through the table in self, defense, like, I want that title. And you know what? I guess I'll give that an additional, honorable mention. Drew is a good promo, and he's very consistent with his character. Gotta love it. Can't hate the guy. But because I love this dude just as much, if not just a little bit more, we had R-Truth getting interviewed backstage, and he was his happy-go-lucky self, right? Then he's approached by Aleister Black, who still has beef with him because as R-Truth was going through his whole attitude change, shaving his head and chasing John Cena, who had done him dirty, he's like, okay, I'm more serious now. I'm Ron Killings. Well, now he's back to being R-Truth as of last week, right? John Cena's back, so he's back. Actually, Ron Killings is not gone. I don't think a lot of people are catching on to this character, that this is supposed to be either like a disassociative, I'm gonna try to say the word right, excuse me guys, dissociative personality disorder type thing, or a multi-personality thing going on, a little Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Killings going on, right? So when he's approached by Aleister, his attitude changes, and we see Ron Killings again. So Ron Killings isn't gone, folks. I don't think people were understanding that this isn't just him saying, I'm more serious, I'm a bad man type thing, I'm gonna cut off my braids and just stop being goofy. No, R-Truth is still there. The happy-go-lucky guy we still love, he's still there. And there seems to be another personality that comes crawling in when he's upset or serious, and that's Ron Killings. So we'll see where this goes. I hope it's more than a 1-week thing where Aleister Black just, hits him with a black mass and calls it a night. Let me know what you guys want to see from multiple personality R-Truth. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But let's move on to my number 1. And of course, it is the 6-man tag team match between the MFT of Solo, Tongaloa, and JC Mateo versus Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn, and Jimmy Uso. And all I can say about this match is, of course, it's a good main event because, and again, multi-man matches, meant to, protect people long-term, of course, but it was still entertaining. Everybody gets their moments. Everybody gets their shots in. And I really like the, kind of micro story they tell of, Sammy being the babyface in trouble, and he has to tag Jacob Fatu, who was the one who just had issues with him backstage. He was telling Jimmy, keep him away from me, Oos. Like, I don't know him. I don't like him. I don't trust him. Like, you my brother. We family. I don't think they're literally brothers. I think they're cousins. But, you're my brother. You're my family. And Sammy's like, hey, he's my brother too, you know, Bond brother. And he's like, you know, are we good? And he's just like, stay out of my way. So they enter out, you know, Jimmy and Sammy do the whole, you know, like, I don't know what I was doing there. They do the whole, you know, Uso handshake, and, you know, the match is on. And Sammy, you know, becomes babyface in peril, but of course, you know, we get the double tag in. You know, Jacob runs wild, but eventually the match ends with Sami Zayn once again pinning Solo Sikoa, the U.S. champ, for the second week in a row. So we'll probably see a U.S. title program with him and Sammy. This will probably go for a little while. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Sammy get that title. But maybe just not in the first match that they go off on, just to keep Solo looking good. You know, you don't want to punish the guy just to give another guy a match. But again, like I said, it was a good, entertaining main event. Definitely a crowd pleaser. The crowd went home happy, so good for you guys, Boston. This was a good SmackDown. A lot of building up storylines going on here. It may not have been spectacular to some people, but definitely a lot of story and character development going on within this one. But anyway, that of course is my top 5 moments. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and of course you guys know the drill. I love you. Enjoy pro wrestling, and for the love of pro wrestling, keep it casual.